Joining us, Steve and Barry tonight here at the O2, a man who could be standing in his way.
Vitali Klitschko has captured the imagination of the crowd.
Big right hand.
Coming down. Klitschko chopping down on Johnson.
And a left, really good combination from Klitschko.
This is dangerous because Klitschko can really punch.
But he's dismantling him here, Vitali Klitschko.
Klitschko lines it up with a big right hand. And here's Klitschko trying to close the show. Johnson in trouble. He's down again.
Klitschko is giving him a lesson here.
We have a star.
Vitali Klitschko is world champion again.
And he's with us tonight. What a pleasure to welcome Vitali Klitschko, now the two-time world heavyweight champion, of course. And between him and the other half of the Klitschko firm, brother Vladimir, they have control of the heavyweight division every way you look at it right now. What a pleasure to have you here tonight. Is David Haye the next big thing at heavyweight?
Good evening, everybody. It's David Haye. Is a pretty good sportsman, and I follow his career pretty long time. And my personal opinion, I keep my finger crossed for tonight. And I know it will be great fight here in England, or great fight in Germany for big stadium. And I hope the next year, me or my brother Vladimir fight against him.
Primarily tonight, Vitali, are you here to scout and check him out for your brother or for yourself? What's the idea?
I check it out for both brothers. It's not what a marry. We actually look very similar, me and my brother. Between us is 5 years, but we together a world champion. And let's see. It's right now it's difficult to say who will be the fight. But anyway, one of Klitschko brothers to fight Haye, it will be great fight.
That's the big plan, of course, right now, Vitali. But let's get this one out of the way first tonight. Steve, he's a big man, and you're standing next door to him. Yeah. And the thing is, more and more, they're shaped like Vitali and Vladimir. And that creates a question about David Haye coming up from the cruiserweight. He's 6'3" compared to 6'8". You know where that's going.
Now, so even if David goes up from 15.5 to 16.2, he can't go up from 6'3" to 6'7". That's a physical impossibility. However, you know, Ruslan Chagayev, he's not that tall, but he fights short. Whereas David doesn't fight like a stocky small fighter. And I think there are some enormous leaps that David will have to make to step from a Monty Barrett, normal 6'3", normal heavyweight, 16 stone, up to this guy. Because as you said, Paul, it's a very good point. This is the kind of size of most of the former Soviet Republic boxers. And what they are, they're not like the big tall Americans who we've seen over the years who tend to fall over and have bad balance. These guys are sportsmen. These guys are athletes. They're athletes first, then they're boxers.
Barry, is he doing the right thing at this moment, ahead of tonight's fight against Monty Barrett, to say, my future is at heavyweight?
Well, I think he's outgrown the cruiserweight division. We know there's been conflicting reports. He said he didn't have trouble doing. We all know that he's had big trouble doing 200 pounds. So he's done the right thing to move up to heavyweight division, because if for nothing else, the money doubles, quadruples, multiplies by 10. So it's a fantastic opportunity from a financial point of view. But it's also a big step, a big risk, and he wants to prove that he can punch and knock out the big guys too.
Leaving aside the top 10 at heavyweight, Barrett, who's been on the fringe for a long time, first night out, I know he's had a previous outing at heavyweight, Barry, but now it's serious time. Has he done the right thing to take somebody who's a fringe top 10, 15 performer in his own right?
Well, more than anything else, Paul, this guy blows hot and cold. You never know which one's going to turn up. And you can't tell me that he's any less risky than fighting someone like Carl Thompson. He's a real risky guy, and the thing about it is, if he blows out in the first 3-4 rounds here, and there's every chance that can happen because we've seen it, we've witnessed it before, the chances are this guy could knock him out. He genuinely could knock him out.
So the reason I didn't like Monty Barrett from when this fight was first mentioned, when Monty Barrett knocked out Ty Fields many months ago, is that Barrett's fast. I don't want David Haye to fight the fast heavyweight. I wanted David Haye to fight one of the older guys, a relic, a Hasim Rahman. I would have felt more happy, Barry, with Hasim Rahman, who's fighting Vitali's smaller brother, little tiny guy, Vlad, next month. He's a very, very small Vladimir, very young, very small. But I would rather he fought Hasim Rahman than this guy. This guy is fast. I don't like fast heavyweights against David Haye.
And also, he's on the crest of a wave now. He's beaten big Ty Fields. He feels he's come back. He feels he's got his life together. together. He feels he's serious about the game, and he's now taking it very seriously. He's got his child to support and all of that sort of stuff. This is a real risky fight.
But you know the risks every time you fight at heavyweight. The extraordinary fight with Lennox Lewis, the danger of the heavyweight division. Has David Haye got to go for it now?
You know what, is the heavyweight division very interesting because every moment is dangerous. Every punch is dangerous. You miss one punch, the fight is over. And that's why David have all skills to beat Monty Barrett. I know Monty Barrett very well because a couple of years ago my brother Vladimir, younger brother, fight Monty Barrett.
Here in London, actually only a couple of miles away at the New Den.
Yeah, and I think so. Is David Haye have to use his speed, and he's good puncher. And my prediction, the fight will be not longer than 5 rounds.
And which way? Which way?
David Haye. David Haye. I keep my finger crossed for David Haye.
Well, you know, the funny thing is, I think it could be over in less than 2 rounds.
Yeah.
But if it isn't, and if it goes into the 4th or 5th round, like Vitali says, it could be a real danger zone for Haye. Because that's the big issue, isn't it, Steve?
Yeah,
Can he fight constantly the big guys over half a dozen rounds?
But and the other thing is, does he need to prove that tonight, or should he do that in 50 rounds of sparring over the Christmas period? Should he tonight get rid of this guy in 1 or 2 rounds and prove a few points and shut up a few critics and shut up a few cynics? It's a tricky problem, Barry, because I'd like to see him go 10 rounds, break a sweat, come back from hardship. But at the same time, I'd like to see him do it in a minute and a half.
Yeah, well, that's true. There's the 2 scenarios, Paul. He either gets him out of there in a couple of minutes, maybe even less than a round,
Absolutely.
or else he struggles and comes into the later rounds and shows us a bit of bottle, as he says, shows us as a bit of backside that he can come
Barry,
back.
We don't want struggles.
Are there things that he has to prove to you? Now, you've watched him through his cruiserweight career. He's been on the deck 3 times.
It's no secret,
Lost.
Paul. He lost. He was on the deck 3 times. Momac, Carl Thompson had him down, and the other guy had him down. Mock had him down, and he's got to prove that he's got a chin, that he can dish it out with the big guys, that he can soak it up, and that he can come back after 4, 5, 6 rounds of flat out work. Those are the issues.
In terms of the industry, the career, Vitali, if David Haye wins tonight, is it your understanding that it will probably be Vladimir or maybe Vitali Klitschko versus David Haye sometime in the first part of next year for a version of the World Heavyweight title? Is that your understanding?
Yeah, it's David Haye to decide to go to a heavyweight division. It's very good for boxing. The heavyweight division needs a good, fast guys like a big name like David Haye, and I wish him good career and a lot of luck. But we speak about the next for the next year.
We are talking about the future of the heavyweight division. And Steve has referred to your size and the fact that most of the top 10 heavyweights are built roughly the way you are. David Haye at the moment appears to be a throwback to the 1920s and the 1930s.
1960s.
Yes, and once or twice in the 60s, Patterson wasn't a big man, for example.
15 and a half, 16 stone. We're back 25
But
years.
is it still possible because of the way athletes generally have moved on?
You know what? Every size, every sportsman have his skills, sports skills. It's not depend how you big, how you heavy. You have your skills and you have to use your skills in the fight. And it's a good example is Muhammad Ali was 6 foot, Lennox Lewis 6'7", and I'm also 6'7". It's a different size, different weight, but everyone have his skills. And David Haye, his speed is main point and strong booms.
I'm liking all your answers so far. It's beginning to reassure 1 or 2 of the doubters, I think. But at ringside, a man with truly a perfect temperament.
Thanks, Paul. I tell you what, it's not very often you can feel like a schoolboy again standing at 6'3", but that's exactly what it's like being next to Vitali Klitschko. Vitali, you're now down at ringside. You're still confident that your earlier prediction of Haye inside 5 rounds will stand?
It's my prediction, but to be honest, it's nobody knows. It's boxing, it's heavyweight division, where it's every punch can decide. And that's why please attention for this special fight. And we need, heavyweight needs a big name like David Haye, because this name bring more interest for boxing, special for heavyweight division.
I do get the feeling that you and your brother really want David to win this fight. You want the Klitschko versus Haye fight to happen.
I make my finger cross. I hope as David Haye beat Monty Barrett tonight, and next year, in summer next year, we can audit the big stadium here in Great Britain or in Germany for this fight. This will be a huge fight for both countries.
I tell you what, I'd buy my ticket for that. I can tell by the crowd. I think we're ready to go. Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you very much and enjoy the fight.